overnight, the Red Cross is helping out people in Aurora after their homes were damaged in a fire. This happened at a building on Fraser Street, which is right by 6th and Chambers. The Aurora Fire Department says all 3 units in the building are no longer livable. One person was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. It is still not clear how this fire started.
Well, just one day into her campaign for presidency, Vice President Kamala Harris has enough delegates to secure her nomination. She is not officially the nominee yet. That won't happen for a few more weeks. As of right now, the Democratic Party is planning to choose their nominee on August 7th, but that timeline could be moved up. Meanwhile, Harris's campaign has already raised a lot of money. In the 24 hours after President Biden announced his departure from the presidential race, Harris has seen an outpouring of support in the form of cash.
Now, news reporter Courtney Yoon joins us live in studio right now. Courtney, Harris's campaign says she's setting fundraising records.
Yeah, that's right. And in that 24 hours after President Biden stepped out of the race, Harris's campaign raised more than $81 million. Her team calls it the largest single-day total in U.S. history. Experts say Harris's bid is building excitement quickly in a way President Biden's never did. Overall, the Harris campaign says 888,000 grassroots donations were made. More than 500,000 were making their first contribution to a campaign this year. Harris also picked up support from top Democrats, including former President Bill Clinton and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Harris is not guaranteed the nomination, but her campaign is definitely off and running. MSU Denver Chair of Political Science Robert Preuss says $81 million is a lot for a single day, but not a lot of money for an overall campaign. Still, he says it does set up Harris for success at the Democratic National Convention next month.
Big donors are thinking strategically who can win. Small donors think a little bit there, but also really are thinking about excitement. And I think that does really speak to this pent-up need for someone that the Democratic base can get excited about.
Preuss says it's still unclear if this wave of support for Harris will translate to the ballot box. Harris's initial 24-hour fundraising total beat the $50 million former President Donald Trump raised immediately after his felony convictions, as well as the $38 million President Joe Biden secured after the debate, according to the Associated Press. The Trump campaign has not said how much was raised after last weekend's assassination attempt. Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
All right, Courtney, thank you. Support for Vice President Harris is clearly coming in quickly, especially from women of color. The vice president is a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, which is a historically black sorority. She joined while she was a student at Howard University. Rocky Mountain NAACP President Portia Prescott is also a member. She believes Harris's networks will motivate voters to take her all the way to the Oval Office.
We came together to make history already once, to making her the vice president, and now knowing we can come together, the first and finest, AKA, to bring her back, bring it on home.
On Sunday night, 44,000 black women were on a Zoom call with an organization called Win with Black Women. It included a link to donate to the Biden-Harris campaign. They raised $1.5 million during that 3-hour call.
It'll be a busy few days for Harris. Later this week, she is planning to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. This is all according to one of her aides. Harris plans to focus mostly on concerns about the humanitarian situation in Gaza. An exact date for this meeting is not clear just yet. President Joe Biden was supposed to meet with Netanyahu yesterday, but that was postponed while Biden recovers from COVID.
President Biden is set to return to the White House today. He's been isolating in his home in Delaware since last week with COVID. As of now, there are no meetings on his schedule for today, but at some point this week, he is expected to address the nation about his decision to end his campaign for re-election.
It is now 6:08 on your Tuesday morning, and attorneys for former President Donald Trump are asking to appeal his civil fraud conviction. This is the case where Trump, his sons, and the Trump Organization were found liable for undervaluing properties for tax purposes. They were fined $454 million. Trump's lawyers now argue that penalty was unconstitutional. The appeals court could take up the case as soon as September.
Today, a Denver sheriff's deputy charged in a hit and run is set to be arraigned. Jeremiah Espinoza Young was driving on Tower Road in Aurora around 3 a.m. when he crashed his car into a concrete barrier and then left it there. Hours later, he called Aurora PD saying his car had been stolen in Denver and that he filed a report. Documents say he later confessed and told police he was driving home when he fell asleep at the wheel and crashed. Espinoza Young faces several charges, including false reporting and leaving the scene. His arraignment is set for 8:30 this morning.
Developing this morning, a construction worker is recovering after a balcony and stairs collapsed at an apartment complex in Denver. This happened while the upper floors were under construction. The city now says that contractors didn't have a permit and will be issued a notice of violation. We spoke with a neighbor who says that he saw work being done at the building on Vallejo near 30th and Zuni, and then later heard a loud crash. The fire department says that the upper floors of the building were vacant at the time. A spokesperson says 2 families from the lower floor got out of the building safely and they have been relocated to hotels.
Today, more than 2,000 union janitorial workers in Colorado are set to vote on what would be their largest strike since the 90s. The Service Employees International Union Local 105 is responsible for cleaning and maintaining at least 1,500 buildings across the Denver metro area. A representative for the union says they're fighting for livable wages, safer workplaces, and fair workloads. If the majority of workers vote yes today, a strike may take place when their contract expires on Sunday.
And one thing to know about the weather for today, it's that lousy air quality due to the wildfire smoke. Little bit of good news for tomorrow, but for today, unfortunately, that smoke will likely stick around. If anything gets a little worse for today, tomorrow and Thursday, we'll see some gradual improvements. By the weekend, we should have most of that smoke mixed on out. I'll have more details on all of this and a look at those temperatures coming up in my full forecast in a couple of minutes. Erica?
Chris, thank you. Right now, we want to get everyone straight back out to this breaking Sky 9 scene we are following this morning. There was a fatal crash overnight here along eastbound 120th Avenue in the Westminster area. This closure is between Lowell and Federal. Westminster police did tweet out about the crash. They're in the final stages of cleanup here. One of the vehicles involved is loaded up onto a tow truck. This other vehicle right in the middle of 120th Avenue here, it looks like crews are just kind of clearing off the parts of the vehicle that either fell off or were extremely damaged. They're loading it onto this tow, and then the second vehicle will be loaded up onto this tow truck. So it actually does look like we're nearing clearing this scene. Westminster police had tweeted much earlier this morning that this would likely be closed throughout the majority of the morning drive. We will keep watching this and see if it does fully clear out and reopen, and of course let you know as soon as that happens. And new this morning, an interstate in Aurora is the site of a disturbing trend. Aurora police have caught dozens of drivers going 100 miles per hour. 9 News reporter Brianna Fernandez joins us live this morning along I-225. And Brianna, this is a serious problem.
Yeah, Erica, so in just one day, Aurora police have cited 3 different drivers who were going more than 100 miles per hour, and they tell me that this isn't the only problem. Take a look at your screen. So from January 1st to July 5th, Aurora police have investigated 268 accidents along I-225, and the year is not over yet. So this stretch of road is a major thoroughfare that connects you to I-70 or I-25. Aurora police say it's probably one of the busiest in the metro area, and during rush hour is when they see most of the crashes. Some of them haven't even been deadly. So these pictures are from I-225 heading northbound near Alameda Avenue, and these are just some of the examples of the deadly crashes that have happened along this stretch of road. You can see 2 cars here with heavy front end damage, and a third was a rollover crash. Aurora police say excessive speed played a huge factor.
You're sharing the road with everybody else, and you're putting everybody else at risk. I know a lot of folks go, it's just speeding, it's not that big a deal. Speed is a major factor in our fatal crashes. Folks don't recognize the fact that when you're driving that kind of speed, your time to perceive a problem on the road is reduced, your ability to react to it is reduced. So if something goes wrong, you don't have that time to react, and you're going to end up crashing, and you're going to end up hurting other people.
So the Aurora Police Department hopes to get more officers to their traffic unit, especially with the amount of tickets that they've given out and also the crashes that they've investigated along this stretch of road. They also tell me if you do get caught speeding, going extremely fast along I-225, you could get cited and also face a mandatory court appearance. For now, I'm live in Aurora. Brianna Fernandez for 9 News.
Yeah, we want to help everyone avoid some trouble and also be safe out on those roads. Brianna, thank you.